5G, trying to implement, why there is so less adoption? It's like in terms of when we talk about enterprise blockchain, it's like as we know about like a lot of things are happening around the globe, but when we talk about this enterprise blockchain, why there is a less adoption till now? Means, and what's your take on this?
See, I'll talk about both. I'll talk about public and private, right?
Sure, sure.
Let me tell you why
Mm.
why public blockchain has faced challenges in adoption.
Mm.
Now you have something that you call a currency, a cryptocurrency, right? And people are transacting with it. People are sending these currencies to each other. Now we had to build a very practical products around it. So let's say a payment gateway. So when we built the payment gateway, and the payment gateway was used by one of the largest companies in one of the countries that we operated in.
Mm.
Let me tell you the challenges I face in creating the payment gateway. Right? First is banking. Now all countries have fairly restrictive banking, whether you want to call it policies or you want to call it directives to the banks, where they don't extend the right kind of support to blockchain companies.
Okay.
In the public space. I'm only talking about the public space.
Okay. Okay.
So if you are a public blockchain, for example, in India, if you saw in India, all the exchanges had to essentially shut shop.
Yeah.
And why is that? That's because they can't run any bank accounts. So they all turn peer-to-peer. If you can't operate an exchange through with connections to fiat banking, then you can't run your operation. It's not possible. The first challenge that you will face is that because of the number of fraudulent players in public blockchain space, in the public blockchain space, all governments clamped down on banking channels to blockchain companies. That was the first hurdle.
Okay.
Right. The second hurdle was the ease with which you can get cryptocurrency for the retail user or the end user. So if you're an end user, how do you get cryptocurrency and then start spending it? And the third problem is in terms of for example, Bitcoin or Ethereum not really behaving like a currency. People who bought it high are not going to sell it when the price crashes, which is what happened in the past, right? There was a massive bull run. Many people bought it, and then there was a bear market for so long. And so everyone is like, look, I invested so much money. Am I going to spend this money to buy food? Am I going to spend this money to buy coffee? Maybe, maybe not, right? So these are broadly the three challenges that public blockchain.
Okay, fine.
Now let's talk about enterprise blockchain.
Okay.
Now, the nature of development, IT systems, is such that a company usually says, look, I need this IT infrastructure, and they get it built, or they build it themselves. They have all kinds of data policies. They have all kinds of siloed development that takes place, and that is the structure that everyone follows, basically. Okay? You want to communicate with another company, there's a process to do it. You expose whatever you need to expose to connect to the company. Those companies expose whatever they need to expose to connect, right? Okay. When blockchain comes in, the fundamental way in which development happens changes. Now it's no longer about a single company that's creating an IT infrastructure for themselves. It becomes something that you build for the entire network. And if a single company starts a blockchain network, then you have the challenge you have is getting your counterparties to accept it, getting your partners, your competitors, whatever, to say, look, this is a network that we can all be part of. Right? So that creates a dual challenge. One of changing the sort of mindset of building something, or building IT infrastructure. So who is the client really? If you are a blockchain company and you're building an enterprise blockchain network, who is the client? And that has to be thought of very carefully. Okay. And the second challenge was, the way in which they communicate is the second challenge.
Okay. Fine. So I think these are the points which you, okay, fine. Okay, so
this has been my experience.
okay, fine. So what is the future of enterprise blockchains? Like when we talk about, it's like as we are currently right now here, means how you're seeing the future of enterprise blockchain?
I think that as a, I don't know how to answer this, because it is challenging, but it is also something that will be very useful for people who are building applications that share data. So whether in the future we have something, let's say 10 years in the future, right? Let's talk very far away. Let's say 10 years in the future, there may or may not be something called, this blockchain protocol or this private blockchain protocol. What might happen is that blockchain technology might get absorbed into certain tech stacks. So whatever we've learned in the past couple of years as an industry from blockchain technology coming up and just exploding, whatever we learn from that can be absorbed into existing technologies, or new technologies can be born from whatever we've picked up. And so blockchain will stay around for sure. In what form and what shape, that remains.
Okay, so means you would like to say that with blockchain, I think there are some more tech stack need to be built, and I think as we see a lot of challenges, or when we try to use it, will come over with more issues. So I think more tech stack will be introduced in this, and this will be evolved for sure in future. Am I right?
Yes, it will. It will definitely undergo evolution. Current technologies can change because of what they've seen in the blockchain space. Blockchain. So basically, in that context.
Okay. So what are the career opportunities? Like suppose we want to upskill to blockchain or enterprise blockchains. Means like seeing these big companies are working on it. Means what are the opportunities you see? Means like.
So there is still healthy demand for blockchain developers. So I recommend, if there are developers who do want to come to the blockchain space, then they should start looking at different protocols, start picking up skills in a particular protocol. I would say stick to the big ones. I would say they should also develop. They should also develop skills, conventional web development skills. They should definitely develop web development.
So means this protocol means, can you just might be many of don't know about this protocol, means like, can you just highlight on what is protocol you're talking about, means this protocol term?
Yeah, sure. So protocol is just another way of saying the way in which something communicates.
Okay.
So in the context of blockchain, right? Let's say a blockchain protocol would be another way of referring to Hyperledger Fabric. It's a way in which the system is set up, different parts of the system communicate with each other. So that would be one way of talking about protocol.
Okay, fine.
Like a blockchain protocol.
Okay, so please introduce to audience about your company. Means what are your expertise? What you guys are doing? Means how important for you is seeing this technology applied learning. Means like suppose in your company, how important is, like suppose if you know some technology, it is good, but how to apply it and to make it to some other next level, because as we talk about skills hacks, means like our vision is like to introduce more about applied learning. So where you can apply, means like throughout your product building, means your different experience, how important is applied learning? Means like as you see in terms of a technological product, company, business.
Yeah, I'll be very honest with you. I don't think there is anything other than applied learning.
Okay.
If I am to look at computer science programs in colleges and how technology is built, make that comparison, right? But there's a massive gap.
Yeah.
In colleges, whatever you're taught is, I don't know if any of it is actually used when you're building building software. It's just not used. So I don't think that there is something called there is no learning if you're building technology that is not applied learning, basically, right? Certainly, the core concepts of computer science, whatever you need to know, are good and that you should learn them. But they are something that can be picked up as you are building software. And that is, I think, the advice I would give to people who do want to become developers, who do want to become blockchain developers, who just start building things. Right? You can't sit and just take a Coursera course and think you learn how to build or you learn how to program. You have to build something. And that is where practical learning and practical knowledge is extremely important. We are a society that's, I think, we overvalue theoretical knowledge.
Okay.
Which, I don't know, my experience has not.
Okay. So about Elitech means like how you guys are targeting the
so
market.
What we do, so we've been working on building a supply chain network and applications for the last, I think, a year and a half, maybe more, almost 2 years. And we have looked at very large problems in supply chain, and that's what we're trying to solve now. We have a pilot coming up next week.
Okay. Great.
Very excited for that.
Okay.
And I think we'll be, in production in less than a month and a half or 2 months. Okay. And we have our patent applications done. We're looking forward to that, and we're going to start expanding internationally as well. We were planning on doing domestically in individual countries that we operate in the APAC region.
Okay.
But we might have to go international sooner rather than later, depending on.
Okay, fine. So anything you want to share, means like for those who are learning, means like how important is for them to focus on building products, building whatever they are learning. Any suggestion you would like to give, means like at last?
Yeah, I think it's very important to be structured. So when let's say you want to learn a new technology or you want to build something, start thinking in a very structured manner. Start planning your application. Start planning your whatever you're doing. Learn from what larger companies do or slightly larger companies do. Create entire roadmaps. Make sure that every step that you're taking is charted out. And if you don't know what the steps are, then it will be easier for you to find those steps. And definitely use resources that help you develop these practical skills, because there are a number of programs out there, like education programs like yours, that help students develop practical skills.
Yeah.
So they can, at the end of it, they can build something, add to their GitHub, have learned something, and they know how to basically build something in. That's I think the most important.
Okay, great insights. And Karan, you have elaborated a lot of things we have discussed. I think a lot of enterprise blockchain, the market, I think, and the important insight which you have given on the learning aspect, how important is applied learning. Okay, thank you taking out time for us and sharing your insights, because our basic goal and basic aim of a skills hack is to make people aware that how important certain skills are, which is industry relevant, and it will help in your career to grow. Okay, so thank you for giving us time, and thank you to the audience who are watching us. And we'll be coming with some more interesting topics and on business, technology, how you can upskill your career. Thank you, Karan, for your time.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, thanks for having me, Deepak.
Thank you.
Great
Thank you.